we're going to go ahead and go into our pretty much like a rapid fire session in this interview. So tell me one thing in your career that you wish you would have known when you first started. Made it a lot easier for you.
Oh, it would have been stay in school, get the bachelor's, go right into the master's.
Okay.
I had a block of time, build a family, and I had to do the master. At the same time, I was being soccer dad.
Okay.
So that put a lot of strain on the family.
Okay.
If I knew what I knew then, I would just stayed in school and would have completed everything and then went out into the workforce.
Wow.
Then I would have had those degrees behind me.
Okay, then what would be your biggest failure in your career thus far?
My biggest failure is not taking the jump of faith earlier than what I've done. And it's definitely with these properties. If what I know now, I wish I have done years back.
Okay.
It was just the fear of success that was holding me back until now I've touched on it and did it. And it has its hard days, but I wish I had done that earlier.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that would say the same thing about their careers. So tell me 3 most influential people in your life.
My grandmother, always. She was the rock of the family.
Yes, sir.
My mother, spiritual woman, very spiritual. Every day she gives me something to smile about, even through her roughest moments. And then I would say my father.
Okay, that's amazing.
Even though it was rough with him, for him to go through and say he wanted to be a mechanical engineer and pull it off and get a job back in the late 60s, 70s as an engineer and build the type of buildings that he built on the East Coast and on the West Coast, that's amazing.
I can't imagine. He probably had stories for days, especially being in this industry back then.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yep.
I'm sure I would love to sit down and interview with him, but unfortunately he can't do that. But he's a great man. He's been a great influence to you. What are you most proud about being a Philadelphian / South Jersey resident?
Being able to help people.
Okay.
Being a volunteer right now is the greatest thing because we're not looking to be paid, and to be around those brothers that jump in that truck and take on any event, and every event is different. Okay. And willing to put their life on the line, that's the greatest accomplishment. Okay.
And what do you think about South Jersey? What do you think about its potential to grow? Do you think there's more potential in South Jersey to grow outside of Cherry Hill?
And I do. And if you look at Camden right now with American Woodard, I think it's the Hilton hotels on the waterfront now, the BB and T Center that's there, the billions of dollars that was just spent in that one part of the waterfront, and now knowing that Paulsboro has something going on, and that'll probably trigger a couple of other of those areas to grow even more. I could see the waterfront along South Jersey growing.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. The waterfront is growing over there, and I definitely, can attest to your recommendation. And then I guess just more leisure conversation. What books are you reading, man? What's your favorite book? You're such an interesting guy. I want to know everything about you.
The one book that I'm reading right now is called Unhealthcare, and it's by Dr. Stephen Klasko. And what I'm intrigued about is where his mindset came to build this care facility right here in the heart of Center City. And reading that book, it explains where he's looking at years down the line where healthcare needs to be and how it's going to help everyone's community, not just Center City, where it'll make its way into North Philly the way it should, in areas that we don't have the healthcare the way we should have the healthcare. We're not running to churches or community centers for our shots and healthcare, but actually doing something that helps all.
How'd you hear about that book?
I seen him on a web link talking about it. Then I found out that he had a book, so I went and grabbed the book and I started reading. Because it's always helpful to up your friends and get knowledge that you don't have and reach out and read about different things that are outside of your realm. And that's definitely, healthcare is not part, I'm building a facility, but I'm building it as a building. But healthcare is not in my wheelhouse. But to read a book where somebody has knowledge about it and what their vision is, it only motivates me even more.
Wow, man. Wow. That's deep. If you weren't in commercial real estate, what other career could you see yourself doing?
I would have been a lawyer.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely a lawyer.
Okay.
It's still, I have that need to want to help.
Okay.
And it wouldn't have been a high-end lawyer. I would have been a lawyer for the community.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I guess we just got out of this quarantine situation here in the city of Philadelphia and Jersey. Did you develop any new hobbies outside of golf and muscle cars, or did you create something, at the house?
No.
Did you build something in
No.
the backyard?
I don't have that much time in the day. No.
Okay.
The quarantine did what it did. It kept me home and doing a lot of Zoom calls and Teams calls. But I tried to stay true to everything that's around me and
Okay.
just try to keep level. Just don't want to get sick or anything like that. So I pretty much put the brakes on.